Hi guys. In this video we will not talk about the weak and strong squares again, but instead we have a new topic, and that is how do we exploit the weakness of a backward pawn. And yeah, let's jump right into it. In this example we're looking from the white perspective, and yeah, the pawns we want to target in this case is the EA7 pawn. That's the backward pawn. We can attack from our open file, the A file, or of course, if we get access from the second rank, in this case, yeah, the 7th rank, if we can infiltrate the black position. And what do you guys think the first move here? Let's look from black's perspective. Black is simply attacking and threatening to take the pawn right now, and the queen controlling the A file right now. So logically, white wants to defend the pawn and challenge the queen and get access to the open file. And by playing queen to a1, he's exactly doing that. And black took the queen. Of course, we take the queen back. And here, black brings the second rook to b8. And now, white is playing a typical move in positions like this. If you want to attack a backward pawn, what can you do? You lock him up. So those two pawns don't go anywhere right now. Those two rooks cannot be attacked. The bishop is of a different color. So here it's black's move. And it's a mistake. King to f8. Probably with the idea trying to get the king active, moving closer to the action. But question number one, guys, what should black play instead? To try to play for equality. Take a second, pause the video if you have to. Instead of king to f8, black should play rook to b7. And now there's a sequence of moves. For example, we can take, the rook can take, we can take with the bishop, and now, of course, we don't take with the pawn, because then our rook is lost. But instead, we can take the pawn, the white pawn. Then some more exchanges, and we end up in a position which will most likely end in a draw. White has a pawn more, but black will be able to hold this position. But instead, black played king to f8, and here some maneuvering from white. Rook to b4, with the goal of doubling up on the A file. Now bishop to e5, trying to get the bishop involved. Yeah, doubling up on the A file for white. And b5, trying to counterattack, trying to attack the rook. And for example, if you want to take on b2, then you can simply take on b6. And no matter what you do now, of course, if we take with the pawn, we can take the rook. If you take with the rook, we can also simply take the rook. So that's not an option. So after b5, white simply moved out of the way, rook to a2, defending the pawn, keeping the rooks doubled up on the A file. And now black defends, rook to b7, and you can already see white is way more flexible, and black is basically restricted to defending the pawns. Now b3 to get out of the bishop's way, and the bishop moves back to defend as well. Of course, our bishop, the white bishop, is also looking at a7. So now we have all the pieces looking at one point. Everyone is looking at a7. And now white is slowly and steadily improving his position. King to e8. Now d4. king to d7, e4, advancing in the center, gaining more space. And black basically cannot move any piece. e6, trying to prevent d5, b4. The bishop in a very strong position right now, backed up by 2 pawns. King to c8. And now white is simply advancing and wants to play for a passed pawn. Those 2 pawns against the 1 pawn on e6. Black takes, white takes, and that's also a common thing. You want to attack or create one weakness, which is the a7 pawn. And once that's done and you have a good position, I mean, just look at the pieces. White can at any time shift to the queen side, for example, has way more space and control. And black is basically hopeless with defending the pawn and can't really respond to anything else on the board. Now black tries to attack the d pawn. You can simply play d6 because it's covered by the both pieces, the bishop and the rook. Rook to d8, king to g2, king d7, rook to e2. Black played king to c8 again. And the second question for you guys, why is he not playing rook to e8? Well, take a second. We can take the rook. The king takes. And now what will happen? White will simply advance with the king, and there's nothing black can do. As soon as the bishop the bishop can't move. That's the point. It's completely restricted to those 2 squares, and therefore the rook cannot move. And as soon as there's any attempt, white can also take the pawn. This pawn is alone. Yeah, I think you can see this is completely lost for black. So instead, black tried to play for king c8. Rook to e7, now infiltrating, attacking this pawn, attacking a7 again. Rook to d7, now black is trying to trade. But instead, white simply plays rook to a2, and that's the thing I mentioned earlier. You attack, you create and attack one weakness, and after advancing in the center, in the middle of the board, you swing your rooks over to the center as well, and basically this rook is completely useless. It's trapped in the corner. This bishop is also, it's just pitiful. And just a few moves later, now black played a5, but we will look at different alternatives. For example, if black takes, we take the rook, king takes d7, and rook d2. The bishop is lost. Another alternative, if the rook takes on e7, we have to take with the pawn, of course. King d7 and rook d2. And in the next move, our rook gets to d8. So instead, black tries to play a5. White plays rook to c2, secretly looking at the king. The king has to move out of the way. King to d8. And the next move is bishop to b6. And that's basically where black surrendered, because there's no move. He can't go to e8. He can't go to the c file, of course, because of our rook. So he has to move the bishop, for example. And now we can simply take. And whatever black is doing now, it's completely lost. So I hope you guys learned something from this small video and from this position by basically remembering a few key themes. Removing the defender of the file you want to use, the open file. Then a few moves later, occupying the file yourself. I mean, of course, we have to take back the queen, so we automatically do that, achieve that. And then the key move of rook to a6, locking down the position, advancing and increasing the value of your own pieces, like the bishop compared to here on e3 and later on c5, backed up by our 2 pawns. And then we can slowly bring our king or make use of our majority in the center. That's exactly what happened in the game. After the position was completely locked up on the queen side, white marched forward with those pawns, and that's exactly how he won in the end. Alright, if you liked the video, leave me a comment, check out the new videos, and enjoy your day.